Hey squad, Sykes here, and thank you for taking the time out to click on this video. If you enjoy what you see, then please consider leaving a like, heading over to Installation X and subscribing, and hitting that bell for notifications for more Xbox and Halo Infinite content. And that brings up Halo Infinite, because today we are looking at a new update video for Halo Infinite with regards to new news that is coming from 343 regarding player customization. And I think it's fair to say that this news has gone very divided, like most of the Halo community these days. So it's a very interesting piece of news we've got today regarding customization and the new coating system that will be involved in Halo Infinite. So in the latest blog post at Halo Waypoint, 343 have come out and they've shared a bit more information and shed some light on what the new coating system is going to be about, after previously announcing a Monarch coating, which was the all-purple coating, in the previous blog post. So I'm just going to read out a little section of the article. I'm going to give you the facts about everything that we know so far, and then I'm going to give you my personal thoughts on where I think this might be going, some of the positives, some of the negatives, some of the things that a lot of people aren't very happy about. Shock, because that's Halo. And yes, we're going to jump straight into it. So the blog post goes on as such. I'm going to cut through several bits, but I'll leave the whole link in the description as always. So it says, quote, "From the beginning, player expression has been a key pillar of Halo Infinite, and to achieve these goals, the team has developed a new system which is a powerful and flexible way to create customization content quicker and more robustly than we've ever been able in the past. According to lead player investment designer Christopher Blome, a coating, quote, is a 7-layer shader that allows us to put an artistic, authored color, material or pattern into 7 channels, and it applies it to in-game items like weapons, armor and vehicles." Yes, that's right, including vehicles. And we have an example of a blue and grey warthog render that, to be honest, I really like. This looks very, very smart. So those skins that we had for weapons and vehicles that started to come out in the MCC, it looks like that's laid the foundation for them to then arrive in Halo Infinite. The blog post continues, "Coloration along with materials and patterns will now be baked into the coating, taking the place of the primary secondary armor color options found in prior games." We'll get back to that. "While we understand that many players are fond of the previous color system, we're very excited about the breadth and scope of armor, weapon and vehicle customization options that will be available in Halo Infinite because of the coating system. Additionally, players should expect more robust per-piece armor customization choices akin to what was available in Halo Reach versus what was offered in Halo 5 Guardians. And as we expand our customization capabilities with armor geometry, materials, colors and textures, it's important to the team that players are given even more opportunities to express themselves within the game itself. More on that later," according to 343. Continuing, "When we shared the Monarch armor render in our last update, we also saw some feedback around it looking like plastic or being too clean. While we are very excited about the return to a more classic Halo art style, we do want to acknowledge that the nature of these work-in-progress renders is such that they aren't completely representing the base material as shown in-game with real lighting. Additionally, as you can see with the red shift above, the overall look will depend on the design style of specific armor coatings. We know this is a lot to wrap your heads around, particularly with being able to see it in practice. Learning about some big new customization changes coming to Halo Infinite by seeing some marketing materials and reading a few paragraphs isn't ideal, but with programs already in motion and our date shifting, here we are. We also want to stress that we know some folks are likely to be a bit disheartened by the limited nature of some of these current programs tied to specific regions or products, but please rest assured the team has a lot of customization content planned, including items that will be earned in-game and some that will be earned as special rewards, i.e. the Halo 5 152 Legacy reward we've mentioned in the past. Stay tuned, as we'll have a lot more to say and show regarding customization and progression in Halo Infinite down the road." So that's quite a lot to digest. Now, the red shift new coating that has recently been shown, this is a GameStop exclusive. So the red shift armor coating, which has clearly seen battle and looks absolutely phenomenal, can be secured by purchasing any Halo or Xbox merchandise at GameStop from November the 9th to December the 13th. That's brilliant. But not if I live in the UK, because I can't get this because there are no GameStops here. And that's going to be one of the things I'm going to talk about more in a second. So overall, I like the idea of the coating system. I'm not super negative or super upset about the coating system. There are a lot of people who are really pissed off about the fact that 343 have decided to make this step, and it looks like seemingly the primary secondary armor colors that have been the staple for the game since day one, really, I believe, they're gone. They're not coming back. And what's going to happen is we are going to get various different versions of these armor coatings, these weapon coatings, these vehicle coatings that are essentially going to be the customization and the microtransactions that we're likely to get with Halo Infinite, because obviously Halo Infinite's multiplayer is going free to play, which means we know there is going to be some form of microtransaction in the game, which, look, I've accepted. I've made my peace with the fact that microtransactions and modern gaming go hand in hand. They're here, they're staying, they're not going anywhere. They're making these companies a lot of money, especially when games are getting more and more expensive to make. They're getting longer, and the rest of it. We don't need to go into a whole microtransactions debate, but this looks like to be, or it's going to be, the pillar for the microtransaction system in Halo Infinite. Now, where I'm going to talk about this positively is I think that's not necessarily a bad thing, because although I liked the actual wrecks that we got in Halo 5, most of them, there were some that were a bit like, whatever, I didn't like how the implementation of the wreck system came about, in that if you had £100 or $100, you could just dump it into gold wreck packs and you could unlock them as many as you want until you got the mythic weapons and the mythic and the legendary vehicles, and you had an upper hand in Warzone, which used to really, really irritate me. I've still not put a single penny to this day, 5 years later, into Halo 5 because I don't agree with it. I don't agree with the wreck system. I don't agree with how it's implemented into the game. I think it's very invasive. Therefore, I've not put any money into it. I've voted with my wallet, essentially. Other people haven't. Other people might not care. That's absolutely fine. But I think this is potentially a better version of microtransactions that are going to be in the game if they are involving coatings for armor, weapons, and vehicles. This could come into the point where some of these coatings are unlocked by in-game challenges, which would be great, and I want a lot of those. There's going to be some coatings, no doubt, that are going to be purchasable. Whether it's just a one-off purchase for a one-off skin, that would be great. Or you're probably going to see some, maybe even some kind of battle pass or season pass like we've been seeing in MCC, where you could have like your standard and you can then have the one you pay for. A little bit like what Fortnite have done with their battle pass. You get the free battle pass or you get the premium battle pass. And that could potentially be coming into Halo Infinite as well. We don't know. But I'm liking the concept here. I'm liking what they're trying to do. The negatives, I think, for me at least, are if you're going to take away this entire system of primary and secondary colours, you are going to have to make sure that you have got a massive, massive range of these coatings from day one. Because my worry here is with this concept of Halo Infinite becoming this 10-year, decade-long platform, they're going to put a load out at launch, and then they're going to go, oh, well, we're going to have new ones coming in regularly. No. If you're going to take away this entire system, which allows us to mix and match a rather large range of colours for our armour sets at least, that needs to come in, that coating system needs to come in with loads of options from day one. Whether they're options that I have to unlock, whether they're options that are going to be automatically available for me, whatever. I want a massive range of options there day one. And if there are, then I'm willing to accept that, yes, we're going to get more coming in down the pipeline as the game rolls on, as we go through the years, as we get more updates and content drops and whatnot. That's my real big worry here is, are we going to be in a position where, because clearly there's a lot more design work here from the developers. They're putting in a lot of time to make these coatings, right? They're going to be, all of them are going to be hand-drawn, they're all going to be rendered, blah, 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 blah. They're all going to be baked in, 7 layers, all that kind of stuff. That's more time than just selecting a couple of colours. So I'm hoping that they're not taking on too much, and that this is the one thing that's going to get cut. Now, if I'm honest, there are some people who have reacted extremely negative to this, which I think is a little bit unfair, because I think we need to give 343 the opportunity to innovate in some way. They've innovated with gameplay. Not many people like that. Some did, and if you're one of those, that's great. But a lot of people criticise how they've tried to innovate with the gameplay, how they've tried to innovate with the sandbox. We're clearly moving back to at least some kind of classic style with the art, with at least some classic weapons, with at least this spirit of the classic Halo is at least going to be there in Halo Infinite in some form. Therefore, we need to give these guys the opportunity to innovate in some way, and I think this is a good idea. I think this is a good way to innovate. However, it's now a case of it's about the execution. I personally have never really been that bothered by colour customization in Halo. I love some of my armour sets. I love the Hell Jumper. armor set in Halo 5. Now that I've unlocked it, that is my set. I also love the EVA-C helmet. That is one of my favourite helmets. And then back in Halo 4, it was the Photos armor. I love the Photos armor in Halo 4. And then you remember the Hayabusa and all that kind of stuff in Halo 3. Like, I have my preferred armor sets, but when it comes to colours, I'll be honest, I'm really not that bothered. I'll just play around and I see what I think looks good. There are other people who are like, my Spartan is orange, or my Spartan is green, or purple, or black, or red, or whatever, and that's what they want. Now, ultimately, I think about this from a perspective where the majority of time that I'm going to be in multiplayer, I'm going to be in multiplayer as red versus blue. I'm either going to be red, or I'm going to be blue. I just really care about what the armour I'm wearing is, not necessarily what the colour I selected. So I'm one of these people. I'm not avoiding being critical for 343. It's just when it comes to colour customization and really customization in general, it's not really on my high level of priorities when it comes to a game. Like, I want there to be cool customization options, but am I going to judge whether a game's great or good or crap based on the customization? No. There's other things that supersede that. There's gameplay, there's sandbox, there's map design, there's level design. With Halo and its campaign, there's going to be story and character development and all this kind of stuff. For me, that's what Halo is about more than what customization. Now, you might feel absolutely differently, and that's completely fine. There's no problem with that at all. But I think I'm not going to pass my final judgment on this system until it is out there in the wild. We get to see it working in all its glory, and then we can see, based on day one content, was this a good idea? Is it a positive step forward for Halo, or should we have just stayed the same? And are we going backwards? Or is this just another thing that just didn't need changing? Well guys, that wraps up everything for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, then please make sure you leave a like, you head over to Installation X and subscribe, and you hit that bell for notifications for more Xbox and Halo Infinite content. As always, let me know your thoughts on the new coating system in the comments section, whether you like it, whether you don't like it, whether you're meh, you don't really care. Obviously, it's okay to agree to disagree, so make sure you keep it respectful. And don't forget to follow myself and the channel on social media with links in the description. And as always, I'm Sykes, and for more on Halo Infinite and all things Xbox, stay tuned to Installation X. Bye guys.